Have you ever had a phone call that makes you grateful for the design pattern in your own ceiling? I was on the phone the other day with a childhood friend, and if you'd asked me last year, hell, last month, I would have told you she was living the dream. Not a dream, the dream. The one with gold foil lettering and the smell of fresh paint on walls you'll never have to patch yourself. She's married to a man who makes 8 figures a year. 8. A number so abstract it sounds like Monopoly money. They live in a house that doesn't just look like it's from Architectural Digest. It looks like the magazine's editors moved in and decided to never leave. Sunlight hitting at perfect angles. Rooms that echo in a way that feels expensive. Art that costs more than most homes. 2 kids. Beautiful, smart, jolly kids. The kind that appear in holiday card photos with matching pajamas. And teeth that grew in straight without braces. Their vacations are places I have to sound out silently, then Google to confirm they're not fictional. And her handbags? The kind of quiet, silent status leather that costs more than my car. Some people go their whole lives without seeing one of those in person. She has 3. I have to remind myself, for most people, that kind of object is a museum piece, not an accessory. By every external, measurable metric, the one society hands us at birth and says, "Here, fill this out." She was winning. She had collected all the tokens. What really baffles me is that every single time we talk, she is profoundly, restlessly unhappy. Not the dramatic, tragic kind. No violin swells, no rain on windows. It's a low-grade, persistent whine. A frequency just beneath hearing. Like a refrigerator that never shuts off. You don't notice it until you're alone in the quiet. And then you realize it's been there the whole time. Her husband is a ghost, always in transit. Airplanes, boardrooms, somewhere between ambition and absence. She wanders through silent, perfect rooms, and the echo of her own footsteps is the loudest thing in the house. The picture-perfect children are emotional hurricanes in tiny designer clothes. The trips to places with unpronounceable names. They don't fill the hollow space. Nothing fills it. It's like trying to fill a sieve with moonlight. And I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, staring at the crack in my own ceiling, that familiar hairline fracture that's been there since I moved in, the one I told myself I'd fix someday. And I thought, damn, if you can't be happy with all of that, then what hope is there for the rest of us? What exactly are we all running for? It made me wonder if having it all is the most seductive and damaging myth of our time, a pretty little story we sell ourselves to keep the engine of ambition running, to keep us consuming, striving, and forever feeling behind. The poet Mary Oliver once asked, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" We answered with a checklist. Secure the money, secure the partner, secure the property, secure the status. And once that last box is ticked, a gate will open, and we'll step into some sunlit meadow of permanent, unshakable happiness. Everything will finally make sense. But life doesn't work like that. You know this. I know this. We all know this. And yet, there is no finish line. The goalposts aren't just moved, they're on wheels. Every time you get close, someone rolls them further away. Usually, that someone is you. It's human nature. I see it in myself. You land the job you killed yourself to get, and the euphoria lasts a week, maybe 2, if you stretch it. Then your gaze drifts to the next rung, the promotion you didn't get, the title your colleague has, the salary that's still 5 figures away. You find a love that feels solid and real. The kind where you can sit in silence and feel held. And almost immediately, the questions start. But is it enough? Is it marriage level? House buying love? baby having love, as if love is a ladder, and you're always one rung from the top, and the top is the only place worth being. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." He wasn't talking about scrolling. He was talking about this, the chasing, the constant tomorrow, the belief that happiness is one acquisition away. We're like horses, chasing a carrot dangling from a stick attached to our own saddles. The faster we move toward it, the faster it moves away. And we never stop to ask, who tied the carrot there? And what if I'm not even hungry for carrots? The chase is the entire point of the design. It keeps the engine of striving and consuming running. I don't think having it all is the problem. I think the problem lies in our catastrophic misdefinition of all. Because if all means a perfect simultaneous convergence of maximal wealth, passionate love, flawless family, soaring career, complete freedom, eternal youth, and red carpet beauty, all at once, then yes, it's a myth, a fairy tale, the kind you tell children to make them behave. Except, we're the children, and we've been behaving for decades, and the fairy tale never arrives. No one has this, not even the people who seem to. The perfect life you see. The Pinterest board is a facade, a museum diorama of a life, complete with fake lighting and a sign that says, "Do not touch." Behind those flawless photos is a human being who just argued with their partner about taking out the trash, or who cried in the car before that brunch, or someone who hasn't felt a genuine emotion in weeks because they're too busy curating the ones that photograph well. David Foster Wallace once said, "Everything I've ever let go of has claw marks on it. We cling, we grasp. We've been taught that letting go is failure, that contentment is surrender, that enough is something people say when they couldn't make it. But what if all is something smaller, quieter, infinitely more real? What if it's the feeling of your stomach hurting from genuine laughter, around a table with people who truly know you, the ones who've seen you at 2 a.m., without a shower, unfiltered and unraveling, and stayed anyway? What if it's the feeling of your breath coming easily in your own skin? The weight of a hand in yours that feels like home, not an achievement. What if it's waking up, and for a few peaceful moments before the day's demands descend, actually liking the person you see in the mirror? Not loving, just liking. A quiet, unspectacular approval. Yeah, you're okay. What if it's this life? The imperfect, messy, un-Instagrammable one. The one with the crack in the ceiling. The value brand beans. The stack of unread books that somehow feels more like hope than failure. I'm not saying we should stop wanting things. Ambition isn't the enemy. Striving isn't shameful. But somewhere along the way, we confused the map for the territory. We started believing the checklist was the life, rather than a crude sketch of where we thought we wanted to go. My friend, with the perfect, glossy magazine cover world, she taught me something without even trying. She made me stop coveting someone else's checklist, because if she can hold every single token and still feel a hollow, echoing void, then the tokens were never the point. And maybe the point, and I hesitate to say this, because it sounds too simple, too quiet, is learning to look at what you already have and whisper, honestly and without reservation, this is enough. Not forever. Not for every version of yourself that will exist in the future. Just for now. Just for today. Just for this breath. I don't think there's a clean conclusion here. No breakthrough. No secret the rest of the world has been missing. Just questions that sit with you. if all the things we're chasing don't guarantee happiness? What do we do with that knowledge? Do we stop? Do we slow down? Do we just admit that the chase itself is wired into us? A survival instinct repurposed by capitalism into a permanent state of wanting? I don't know. But I keep circling back to this, to the idea that we've been taught to mislabel what all really is, trained to look for it in houses and handbags, and vacations with names we can't pronounce, when maybe it shows up in the things that don't photograph well. A conversation where someone actually listens, a moment where you're not reaching, not restless, not waiting for the next thing. You're just there, and that is okay. I read something once that said, "We must have the stubbornness to accept our gladness in the ruthless furnace of this world." Not joy, not happiness, gladness, the quieter, tougher version, the one that exists, even when things aren't perfect, even when life doesn't look the way you thought it would. And I guess what scares me and comforts me in the same strange breath is that none of us actually know what all is supposed to look like. Maybe it's different for everyone. Maybe it changes as we change. Maybe the version of all you wanted at 25 is not the version you need at 35. And that's not a failure. That's just the shape of a life. Revision, erasure, rewriting. So yeah, no big motivational takeaway. No 3-point plan. No you can do it fist pump. I just know that hearing her talk shifted something within me. It made me stop scrolling through other people's highlight reels, the curated, filtered, carefully lit versions of lives I'll never live, and ask myself a different question. Not, what do I need to get next? But, what do I already have that I can actually hold? And honestly, that feels like a better question to sit with than the one about having it all. And through all life's chaos, I somehow always find solace, my peace, my answers, in my pen, a clean, fresh page in my notebook, and sometimes a keyboard does the job. Your own answer to that question might not be impressive. It might not fit in a frame or gather likes, but it might feel like enough. And enough isn't a compromise, but a quiet, radical form of freedom. Wherever you are right now, driving, lying awake, or just sitting with your thoughts, I'm glad our paths crossed for a little while. Take care of your mind, guard your heart, and don't rush the questions that take a lifetime to answer. Until next time, peace be with you.